Your doctor checked your blood pressure last week. Cuff on your arm, sitting in a chair, 10 in the morning. 118/76. Normal. He told you you're fine. He's not lying to you, but he's not looking at the number that actually matters either. Because the blood pressure reading that predicts whether you have a heart attack or a stroke in the next 5 years doesn't happen in that office. It happens at 2 a.m. while you're asleep, and almost nobody ever measures it. Here's the problem. For decades, high blood pressure meant one thing: a number taken while you're awake, sitting still, usually during the day. That's what gets written in your chart. That's what your medication gets adjusted around. But your blood pressure isn't supposed to sit at one flat number for 24 hours. It's supposed to move on a rhythm. In a healthy body, blood pressure drops 10 to 20% while you sleep. Doctors call this dipping. Your heart gets a break. Your blood vessels get a break. It's basically nightly maintenance for your entire cardiovascular system. A large analysis published in the European Heart Journal tracked over 64,000 people using 24-hour ambulatory monitors, devices that check blood pressure automatically every 20 to 30 minutes, day and night, not just once in an office chair. The finding: nighttime systolic pressure predicted death and cardiovascular events more strongly than either the daytime reading or the one taken in the doctor's office. Not slightly stronger. The strongest single predictor in the entire data set. So if your pressure doesn't drop at night, if it stays flat or worse, climbs while you sleep, you can have a normal daytime number and still be walking around with the exact pattern that predicts a stroke. And you'd have no way of knowing, because nobody's watching the clock at 2 a.m. except your own arteries. So why does this happen? There are 3 drivers, and none of them show up on a standard blood pressure check. Root cause 1. Disrupted breathing while you sleep. This is sleep apnea, but it doesn't require the dramatic version people picture. Even mild undiagnosed apnea means your airway partially collapses dozens of times a night. Each time, your oxygen drops, and your body responds like it's under attack. It floods you with adrenaline and cortisol to force you to breathe again. That surge spikes your blood pressure, sometimes by 20 or 30 points, in the middle of the night, over and over. Think of it like flooring the gas pedal and slamming the brake, repeatedly, all night long, in a car that's supposed to be parked in the garage resting. The engine never gets the rest it was built to have. Multiply that by 40 or 60 times a night, every night, for years, and you understand why undiagnosed sleep apnea is one of the strongest known drivers of nighttime hypertension. A large analysis published in the European Heart Journal tracked over 64,000 people using 24-hour ambulatory monitors, devices that check blood pressure automatically every 20 to 30 minutes, day and night, not just once in an office chair. So if your pressure doesn't drop at night, if it stays flat, or worse, climbs while you sleep, you can have a normal daytime number and still be walking around with the exact pattern that predicts a stroke. Root cause 2. Evening sodium and how your kidneys handle it after dark. Your kidneys don't process salt the same way at 8 p.m. as they do at noon. There's a circadian rhythm to sodium clearance, and for a lot of people, especially past middle age, that rhythm slows down at night. Salt eaten late in the day sits in your system longer, pulling in extra fluid, and that extra fluid volume keeps pressure elevated exactly during the hours it's supposed to be dropping. Picture a sponge that's supposed to get wrung out overnight so it's light and dry by morning. Eat a salty dinner, and that sponge stays soaked all night instead. Swollen, heavy, holding on to water it should have released. That's your circulatory system with a late salty meal still working through it at 2 a.m. Root cause 3. A nervous system that never shifts out of gear. Deep sleep is when your parasympathetic system, the rest and digest side, is supposed to take over from the fight or flight side. But short sleep, fragmented sleep, or chronic stress keep cortisol and adrenaline elevated well into the night. Your body physically cannot produce the blood pressure dip if the nervous system driving it never downshifts. It's like a car idling in drive with someone's foot still resting on the gas. The engine's revving even though the car isn't supposed to be going anywhere. That's a nervous system stuck in daytime mode at 3 a.m., and it's a huge reason otherwise healthy people turn out to be non-dippers when they finally get tested. So here's the protocol. 4 things you can start using tonight. Step 1. Move your sodium earlier. Try to keep your last high-sodium meal before 6 or 7 p.m. and aim to keep evening sodium under roughly 500 milligrams. That means going easy on late dinners built around canned soups, deli meat, or heavily processed sauces. Step 2. Add a potassium-rich side with dinner. Baked sweet potato, spinach, white beans, or a banana all deliver 400 to 600 milligrams of potassium, which helps your body balance out sodium and supports healthy vessel relaxation overnight. This isn't a supplement pitch, it's produce you can buy this week. Step 3. Pay attention to sleep position and snoring. If you or a partner has noticed loud snoring, gasping, or pauses in breathing during sleep, that's not something to brush off as just how you sleep. A home sleep apnea test is simple to arrange through your doctor, and catching this is one of the highest leverage moves on this entire list. Step 4. Protect a consistent sleep and wake time within about 30 minutes, 7 days a week. Magnesium glycinate, in the 200 to 400 milligram range in the evening, has modest evidence supporting vascular relaxation and may support this process. But the consistent sleep schedule is what actually regulates the cortisol rhythm your nightly dip depends on. Now, a few mistakes that keep people stuck here. Mistake 1. Assuming a good daytime reading means you're in the clear. As we covered, it doesn't. Nighttime is where the real risk lives. And daytime numbers can look perfect, while nighttime numbers tell a completely different story. Mistake 2. Treating snoring as a personality quirk instead of a medical clue. "He's always snored" is not reassurance. It's frequently the single loudest signal of undiagnosed sleep apnea sitting in plain sight for years. Mistake 3. Using alcohol as a sleep aid. A nightcap might make you fall asleep faster, but alcohol fragments sleep architecture later in the night and is associated with blunted nighttime blood pressure dipping. It feels like it's helping. The overnight data says otherwise. Here's your action plan. 1. Ask your doctor about a 24-hour ambulatory blood pressure monitor, or at minimum a home reading before bed, and one if you wake during the night. 2. Shift your sodium earlier and add 1 potassium-rich food to dinner, starting tonight. 3. Get screened for sleep apnea if there's any snoring or witnessed breathing pauses. Don't wait for a dramatic symptom. 4. Lock in a fixed sleep and wake window for the next 2 weeks, and track how you feel in the morning. If this video gave you something new to think about, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We cover the health topics that don't fit in a 10-minute doctor's appointment, and visit healthhustleacademy.com. We've put together the exact supplement stack and lifestyle tools we talk about in our videos, all in one place. Links are in the description below. Take care of your body. Nobody else is going to do it for you.